Yeah, we're going to talk about the easy database creation and the tools that we give you to create databases that are really spectacular, really easy to do, and gives you great control. So let's talk about how we can do that. Kind of an overview. You're looking at a screenshot of my screen that has numerous databases there. And what we are talking about is creating multiple customer databases under the umbrella of your account. So you are the one who manages this account. This is under your email and your dealer profile account. There is no limit to the number of stores that you can have underneath your umbrella. So don't hesitate. This is really the way you should do it. The referral partners that we have who are doing it this way find that it is much easier to control, much easier to do, and gives them a lot of flexibility. It really gives you easy access to all the databases so that you can continue to do support and maintenance of those customer databases. And this could actually be a revenue stream for you. Give much greater control of the database so that you can oversee it, control it, because really it is your property. Since it's under your account, this is your database. You're just letting the restaurant owner use it. In this case, you cannot be locked out. If you set up the restaurant as their own account with you as a user, then they can delete your user account or shut you down and not give you access to that account or to that database. In this case, you're in control and you cannot be locked out. This is your database. Of course, stores are not allowed to see each other. You control who sees the account. You control who sees the database. So they cannot see each other. Only the RP can see them all. And of course, in cases of multiple stores under one owner, they can be grouped together so that they can share loyalty programs as well as gift cards. So the stores that are then grouped together act like a franchise situation, including if they are franchises. So a franchisor can have all their stores under their umbrella, under their control, but you are the master control for all of those. So how can we do this? Well, it's really easy to do in that you copy from an existing store. So in the case of a franchise who has their master store, the store that they are the corporate store, you can then copy from that corporate store over and over again, and then modify and tweak to that specific location. Change address, change phone numbers, emails, website address, all the little pertinent details that go along with that individual store. But you have copied that from the master store. So that makes it very quick, easy setup to do. And then of course you can upload from a cloud backup. We do have those available for you to do that. So if the store is lost, uploading from a cloud backup is very easy to do. We also allow you to import from Aldelo POS. This is a very popular way to take an existing Aldelo POS customer, move their data over to Express, and everything comes over except for the historical sales data. That is the one thing that is not imported, but all items, modifiers, employees, all those things move directly over from Aldelo POS to the Aldelo Express platform. So it's very easy to do. And then something else we're going to show today is importing from an Excel file that you create literally in the Excel program. And of course, we will give you the template, and we'll show you that template here in a bit, because we're going to do this portion of it today. We're going to do this live. I'm actually going to create a store using an import from Excel. But doing this with Excel then allows you to create a library of popular categories. So when I used to do installs, I would have my different databases that I'd previously done, and I would simply copy certain items over to the new store I was creating. For instance, I would use, if I had a good category of beers, I had all the beers done, and we're going to now create a bar. I would copy all the beers from my previous database over and just change the price. Same thing with liquor. You could have 200 to 300 mixed drinks in a database. Copy those over from your liquor Excel database into the new store and simply then change the price. Makes it very simple to do. And of course, modifiers. Every steakhouse has their temperatures, and every burger place have their modifiers. It's the same ones over and over again. So why not have a modifier Excel spreadsheet that then can be copy pasted into the new store? All these things really make it a lot faster to create a new store. Well, how about this? Should you charge for this? Since it is so easy, to copy from one store to the other, from one corporate store to the franchise, should you charge for this? And the answer is absolutely. Your time is worth a lot of money, and you should respect yourself in the fact that your services are, well, they have a value. You need to check the market that you're in to see how much your competition is charging. And I'm not talking about, well, I'm talking specifically about true point of sale guys, because they charge. And I used to charge $500 a terminal for programming, installation, and training, and easily get it. So at 3 terminal was $1,500. And that programming included the programming of the database and the creation of the store file, putting that into the terminals, then doing the burn-in of the terminals, the testing of the terminals, the testing and creation of the network, the installation, the physical installation of those terminals and devices in the store, excluding the cost of wiring. I would not do the wiring, and I wouldn't suggest that you do either. If there's any wiring to be done, that should be done by a professional, a licensed person to do that, because in certain areas there are restrictions, legal restrictions, as well as permitting. So no wiring, but the installation of the terminals into the customer provided network is the way to go. And then obviously training. You do need to have cashier training, user training, as well as manager training. So $500 per terminal would get you 1 day of training and installation of the terminals and the database creation. And then $125 an hour or $500 a day for anything additional to that. So don't sell yourself short on this. Your time is valuable. You need to make sure that you're charging appropriately. This also will protect you from customers who try to get everything for nothing. If you let them know and you set it up early and set the expectation in the beginning, then they will be more respectful of your time and not try to nickel and dime you and get you in there for nothing. We have some referral partners who do add a monthly fee, that while the software and support services from Aldelo are included with Aldelo Pay, then you should charge a monthly fee for on-site or after-hour support. A monthly fee is one way to go. If the customer refuses that, then we're back to the previous slide where it's $125 an hour or $500 a day for your on-site and after-hour support. You should have a charge for the normal business hours. You should have a different charge for after hours. You should also have a way of collecting that, whether you want to do it on a monthly billing or on a billing cycle or on a per call basis. But you definitely need to have on-site and after hours. And while you're doing it, you might all think about zones, as in zone 1 being within so many minutes of your location, and zone 2 being a little bit further out, and zone 3 being way out there, so that you might have a different charge for on-site for zone 1 versus zone 2 versus zone 3. All these will make you a better operation. And if the customer's kicks on this, remind them they don't give away their food to everybody, and you don't give away your services and your time. This is a very important thing to the profitability of your operation. And they need to understand that if you're not profitable, you can't stay in business and you can't support them. So they should want you to make a fair profit. Work with them, they'll do it. You can also charge for database changes. I have seen where there are customers who do not want to maintain their database. They don't want that. They don't want to get into it. And they'll gladly pay for you to go in and add items, change prices, and those things. Be prepared for that, and understand that you can charge for database changes. And of course, additional training. $500 a day for training. And if you wish to break that up and say, okay, half a day here and a half a day some other time, that's fine. But you need to have a charge. Do not give away your training. This is critical for you to set that tone and set that expectation up front. So at this point, what do we have, Jeff, in the questions?
So Doug is asking, do we have ACH for dealers? So I assume what he's asking is if he goes out and does some work, will Aldelo ACH will bill the end user and then pay the dealer? And no, if you're actually going out and doing on-site work and setting things up, you're going to directly bill the customer. So that's going to be between you and them directly. Not something that Aldelo is going to work with.
But they can do their own ACH. The dealer can set that up for their own self from their own bank. They don't have to come through us. They can do it themselves.
Yeah, and actually, if you have some banks and stuff, it's part of your business banking account. So it's really kind of a neat process.
I had it on my phone. I would actually take the payments via phone. It was simple enough. That was, I just use simple PayPal, had a PayPal business account, and just take PayPal over my phone. So it's a simple thing. It does not have to be complex.
And then Doug's looking at where can he export menu data.
We're going to show that.
We're going to show that here in a minute, Doug, but you literally can export it from any of the reports are exportable.
Yeah.
They all expect export information.
So yeah, we're definitely going to show that's part of this next part, the next piece.
So Will's asking, how can he set up multiple training accounts on his account? And the short answer is, Will, you have to get it. You have to call Jerry or Kelly or Chelsea and talk to them about what you're doing and why. Dealers are typically limited to one trial account per store. But obviously there's reasons for more. And I do have accounts and stuff that we do accommodate with those. So if you are having a situation where you need more than one dealer database for some reason, accommodations can be made. And so Ron is saying, hey, he's a new dealer and he'll set up his own ACH account. And do I charge for my services? Yeah, Ron, any service you're doing with the customer, that's what Jerry is talking about here. If you're doing, training with them, if you're doing on-site consulting, if you're, whatever services you're providing, he's letting you know, please charge for them. Don't do work for free. Your time has value. And just because we're giving them the software for free doesn't mean your time should be for free. We want you to make money. And so he's letting you know that. Doug is asking, why does tech support say it's not possible to export? You're asking two separate questions, Doug. And tech support people are very, very, very specific about what they're talking about. When you ask, can you export a database on Aldelo Express? You, as Doug, a dealer of Aldelo, cannot export an entire database. The system will not let you. As an administrator on the system, I can export it and output it to a JSON file or to a couple of different types of file types. I'm not sure why you'd want to export the entire database. It's not, you know, not usable for much, but it does come out as a zip file. Yes, I can export a specific customer and send it to you if you are the admin on that account. If you are not the admin on that account, no, I can't. If there's specific data you would like to move over, like Jerry's going to show you, you can export menu items, modifiers, a great deal. Jerry's going to go over and show you how to do that. But they're going to tell you exact answers for the question you ask. So if you're asking how to export a database, they're going to tell you this is not something you can do on your own. And as I mentioned in the comments further above, no, I cannot export data from one of your customers if you are not the admin on the account. I can do it if the customer requests it and says, can you export this and give this to Doug? Absolutely. Happy to do that.
Well, it's back to that slide I had that said, if you create the database under your umbrella, you own it. You're the owner of the data, and yes, there's a lot more freedom with regard to what you wish to do with that. But if you have it under the restaurant's sign-in, login account, you don't own that data. You created it for them, and they own it. So there's a legal matter there that you have to really understand. We're teaching you today how you can control your destiny here. We're teaching you here how you control the databases, and it gives you the control that you're actually looking for. But back to the charging, I've eliminated the word free from my vocabulary from the standpoint of, I think it sets the wrong expectation. So I don't say we're going to give you this for free, because then they start wanting everything for free. And we've seen referral partners get into a deep hole by giving away, well, I'll just come out and change that price for you, or I'll come out and add that employee, or I'll come out and redo your modifiers. No. You need to charge for this, or they will absolutely abuse you, and you cannot let that happen. So charge them if they want you to change a price, if they want you to add an item or add an employee. Have a price for it. It may be $10 to change a price. It may be $50 to add an item, but there's something in there that you're going to have to set up an expectation with that end user, that they're not going to just have you come over for willy-nilly anything. You've got to stand your ground.
And Nick, Ty, one, great seeing you here. I haven't talked to you in a couple of years. It's wonderful seeing you here. So welcome to the group. You may remember me from a long time ago being in tech support, and I've gotten to have some wonderful conversations with you. I have some fond memories of those conversations. So welcome to the group here. As far as your question, one for each device type. I'm not exactly sure what you're asking. If you could clarify that question, I'd really like to make sure I get you an answer there, and get you taken care of.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Absolutely, sir.
Yes. What I meant is when you talk about the demo license, I think. So what happened is I need a dealer demo account for each device, like one for tablet, one for iPad. So when I do a demo to client, I can say, yeah, here's how it works on tablet. This is how on the phone. This is how on the iPad. That's what I meant.
Thank you very much for clarifying, Nick. And again, great hearing from you and hearing your voice again. Haven't talked to you in a long time. Nick from Durasoft too, or haven't talked to you in a long time either. Great seeing you. To answer your question, when you'll notice on Jerry's screen right now, you'll see where it has a little blue, light blue thing that says Express. And then just to the left of that, you'll have several of those that say demo, or they say subscriber, or they say dealer. So when our admins go in and change your account status from a trial account to a dealer account, we automatically go in and give you 100 licenses for the Aldelo Express for iPads. We give you 100 licenses for the Aldelo Express for Android. We give you 20 KDSs on there. We give you 20 customer displays, so you can display that one. You'll have to forgive me. I know I'm probably missing something else off the top of my head, but any of the Aldelo Express package, with the exception of online ordering, we give you licenses for. And so you have those. And on your Windows software, if you do not have dealer licenses for those for some reason, any of our CSA team members can set those licenses up for you for Windows, so that you have a dealer license, and that dealer license does not expire. And so, you can set those up. For Windows, we tend to give you one for each employee, up to 5 maximum. And most everybody probably has them. And if you're not sure what those license numbers are and stuff, our CSA team, our customer service team, can happily get that for you. And their information's sales@aldelo.com, or you can call them at 800-801-6036. They're happy to get that information for you and get that out. It's no problem at all. And then Doug, I hope this kind of answers your question as well, as you were saying, hey, your trial period was expiring. You'd want to export your database, create a new one, and import it there. That's really a hard, boy, you are trying to climb Everest without oxygen, buddy. That's the hardest way to go do that. The easy way to do it is you contact our CSA team, and specifically Kelly and Chelsea can help you with this. They're your dealer relations managers. And you provide them your subscriber ID, and they literally can change your account from a trial account to a dealer account for free, and no problems at all there. And Doug did point out one that I forgot to mention, kiosk. We do give you the ability to have 20 kiosks on those accounts automatically. So you can test it. We want you to feel comfortable with it. We want you to demo the software. We want you to use it. So absolutely, these things are out there for you guys.
Okay, so you're now looking at my screen with all the different stores that I have here. I'm going to do an export to answer some of the questions here about exporting. Let's go ahead to the Express Coffee. And what you're going to do here is, under the Analytics tab, you're going down to List. And here are the lists that you can export. Easy enough. Let's go to Items. And then the little green button here gives you the opportunity to do PDF or Excel. And just click on Excel. And we have now an export. And it popped up on my other monitor. Let me bring it over. There's my database. So it's just that simple, just that easy, guys. That's your export. And it's by item name, group, category, type, class, mix and match code if there's one, unit price, taxes, and additional info. So that's the export. You can also export out of the file the modifier list, discounts, surcharges. Those are the 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll pay attention to those because those are the ones you can import in using Excel as well. So we're going to play around with that next, but that's how you export. And if you're going to export anything. You can actually export your sales reports. You have the green button. Anywhere you see it there, you have the opportunity to export. But under list is where you get the individual list. Okay, let's go back to our store list. Here are all the stores under my umbrella. Here are the stores that I have grouped together as a chain. Now, these can be multiple stores under one owner's umbrella, one owner, I should say, just singular. This can be franchise stores, or it can be one owner with multiple stores. But these stores now can share online rewards as well as gift cards. So these stores now are in a group that share those things. I can link more stores, I can remove stores and edit this group. But these are the groups, this is the group that I have in my chain for using and sharing of gift cards and rewards. The next thing you need to understand is users. So when you're in your store here and you go to configure, you can go to users and then designate the users for that store. You as the referral partner then manage and control who gets access to that database. So in this case, you would make the, you would be listed as the creator, but you would then put the store owner as the administrator. You would then have master control of what happens here. Jeff, anything else on that?
No, sir. I think you did great.
It's just straight up simple.
That's great. Yeah.
Okay. So now back over to the main screen. In this case, we're going to create a new store. All right. So we have, this is copy from an existing store. So that's where you would copy from one franchisor to another, one of his franchisees. It's just simply moving the same identical database over. Then you go in and customize it to that new location as you would then hide employees, change the name, address, and those things. So just customize it to that new location. Anything else, Jeff?
No, the only thing I'd really recommend is that, they pay attention to the sections that are in blue with the little asterisks on them. Those are required that they fill out all that store info. There are optional information in here, like the web address and things like that, that if they don't they don't have to put it in.
So they fill out this form before they do the copy from the existing store.
They fill out this information. They can actually do it either way. If they do copy from store and they're importing from an additional store, it will prompt them before it completes to finish this step. If they do it first and they go in and do the store, it will complete, in one step and make it, it's the same amount of time either way. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You can do it both ways.
Yeah.
Basically, you can't screw up.
I got in the habit of doing it from here first is where I would do it, but that's it. Either way is fine. Then this is copying from Aldelo POS, same thing. It's just same procedure, same steps. Fill out here, beginning or end. You're going to do it one way or the other, and then just copy from Aldelo POS. The file here, everything comes over except for historical sales data. Then copy or set up here from Excel is another way to do it. And iCloud backup. Let's come back to this in a minute. I do want to show that if you do want to do it from scratch, you can go from on this page. You don't have to go into the tree of the file and do it one at a time here. You have the ability to come in and start putting in items right here and put in your staff right here. So you have that option. You do not have to go in through Excel. But we're going to go in through Excel. In this little tab right here, this little hyperlink is where you get your file, your template, if you will. And once again, it popped up on my other screen. So there's your template. At the bottom, you have your tabs, but this is the item tab here. And these are the ones that just came with it, just to kind of give you an idea how to do it and what they're looking for. You obviously would want to delete these before you start, but this is one way to do it. Then you have your modifier tab. You have your customers tab, discounts, and surcharges. So these are the 5 tabs that you will then complete. So kind of, somebody asked about exporting and what you do. Well, here is the export for my coffee database. So what can you bring over? Let's just take a look here real quick at what tabs are available. So we need, on the items tab, we need the item name, the menu group, the price, and is it taxable? So now looking at the screen here, here's the item name, we need that. Here's the group, we need that. Category, type, and mix and match. These things we don't need. So we can absolutely just delete those. Next thing you have is mix and match code. We don't need that either. So we'll just delete that. Price is up here. We do need that. So let's not delete that. And this column is asking for the actual taxes. We don't need that. We have on our template, is it just taxable, yes or no? So we're going to delete that. And then the other information, we're going to delete that. So now we have an export file that actually matches what we have here. Now you can then sort your group to then get to the group that you want to copy over, whether it be beer or food or whatever. Column. Okay, now we got it. So we've now sorted them by group. I can come in here now and let's just say I want to take my beers. So I will come down and select just the beers. Copy that over. And now I've got now I have a beer template that I could save as beers. And as I go along through my different databases and different creations I need to add to it, I should add those to here so that my database, my library database just continues to grow over time. Now here where it's asking, is it taxable? Well, you could just put in either yes or no, and then copy that to the rest of the column. So now that file is ready. You would do that now for every one of these tabs. You would have a modifier library that you would bring over. You'd have, I doubt you'd have a customer library, but you could just eliminate these and have blanks. The same thing for discounts. You can put the discounts in here. Generally, the restaurants have a lot of the same discounts, but you would customize those here as well as surcharges. Once you're done, you're going to save as, the name of the restaurant, whatever restaurant this is going to be. And then decide where you're going to put it. Now we've done that. We've got now an Excel file ready to go. We took that from a download so that we were able to actually export that list to Excel, modify that list. I've now taken out what I want from that exported file. And now I'm about to import that into the system. So we're going to call this our new store. And I'm going to fill in the address, phone number, tax, then you start answering what industry this is. Well, I'm going to be a restaurant. And then it starts narrowing it down as to what type of restaurant. All these settings, what I'm doing here, I'm actually setting flags. So when I turn on table service or I turn on restaurant, it turns on and chooses some of the restaurant flags rather than retail flags. When I choose table service, now it turns on certain things like table management, hostess seating, hostess dining, hostess reservations. Those things are turned on. American turns on a few flags, and then that's all we have here. I'm able now to hit next and then bring in my database. I go to my, that's this morning, here it is, Jerry's new store Excel file.
Give yourself a passcode. Otherwise, it doesn't know how you're going to access the computer.
Right.
So Alex is asking a great question. Thank you for this prompt. This is actually one of the things we wanted to bring up, but Alex brought it up for us. It says, can items be imported after the store is created, like modifiers or extra items? No, you get one shot at doing this. And if you forget something or then you have to manually enter it. You do not want to just import on top of a database, on top of a database, on top of a database. This is how you cause huge data problems. And it's just not a good idea. So we allow you one import to create a new store, but don't allow you to do subsequent imports. This is where you see a lot of our competitors actually have really problems with database situations because of that.
All right. So now we have a new store, Jerry's Test Store. You can go in, and now there are other things you have to do. We are not by any stretch complete with this database. You do have to go in and manage your settings. You do have to go in, and there are things to do with products. You have imported your items. They're here. You do have those. But what you don't have, if you have your entree items, you don't have all your modifiers linked to those. So you still go in and you create your temperature modifier group for your forced modifier, and you have to go in and then actually link those to the items. So you may have loaded the modifiers, but they have not been linked to the items. So you have to go off and do that. So you've got a few tweaking things to do, but the big work, heavy lifting has already been done here by importing the database. How are we doing on questions, Jeff?
We got a couple of them in here that I wanted to get to. Doug was asking, how do you set up import information with happy hour pricing? This is an import to get your database set up and get a lot of the basic features and stuff put in. If they're going to be doing more advanced things like wanting to set up happy hour pricing and things like this, they're going to want to go into the system and use the advanced pricing module to go set that up. That is not something you're going to be importing like this. We had a couple of questions about can you import pictures to this way? So if you're doing, keep in mind, there's 3 different types of imports you can do here. Jerry just demonstrated how you can go into an Excel file, create an Excel, import your data from an Excel file. And of course, Excel doesn't have pictures. You're not going to be importing and making an association between pictures and this. You've got to associate those pictures with those items and things like that. So clearly there's not going to be a way of doing that. And that would introduce a huge level of complexity that this is just meant to keep it simple. But if you are doing a import from Cloud Store, believe it or not, it'll pull the pictures, it'll pull the menu items, it'll pull the employees, it will pull basically a complete database over from one store to the other. And that will, include your sales data, all sorts of stuff. So you can make a complete export of that store. If you're importing data from Aldelo POS, that of course is not going to export your pictures and things like that. That your Windows software has a different perspective and stuff for the pictures. They're different sizes. It's not going to import those. And it would also make an export file that's just absolutely massive. So it's not going to do those, but you can get your setup data, and that will get you a long ways along creating your database. So that makes it, much easier.
Jeff, I've got a question.
Yes, sir.
How do our people do it?
So we when somebody goes, hey, we have a database and stuff that needs to be created, it varies from tech to tech and menu to menu, how we're going to do this. If it's a very simple menu, I tend to prefer to go in and just do the setup and use the setup wizard. And I do cheat in the fact that I use my iPad and I can speak and do this. I don't build menus typically for the company, but I do a lot of the demo menus and things like this that are built. And I go in and literally, fill in the fields by speaking into them, and I can do it very, very, very quickly. And I've got a nice little fancy keyboard that allows me to switch back and forth between my iPad and my Windows computer with a keystroke, and it's very, very fast. I do have a couple of team members that if we get a list of items that come in, they will literally put those into the Excel document, just like Jerry just did, and import those in there. And then it's just a matter of adding and associating the modifiers. So they can do this usually very, very fast. And so that gets to be there, but we do get more complex menus from you guys, where we do build them by hand through the software, literally by going into items, creating each item, all the modifiers, the whole thing. And for a very complex menu, which is very few of them, they will build them literally item by item by item by clicking on products there and going in and creating them that way. We're smart people. We will cheat too and use shortcuts whenever possible. And doing that Excel file does actually save you an extreme amount of time. Makes it very, very easy. So, and then we had a couple of questions here. They were looking to see, let's see, I recently upgraded a merchant from Aldelo POS to Express, and he wants to use kitchen display features in the Express. Is there a way to enable KDS1 on all menu items using Excel? I can tell you, you're going to love this. When you create it, KDS1 is turned on by default. So
Yeah,
printer one.
Yeah.
So KDS1, kitchen printer one, both are actually turned on during the setup process. There's nothing you need to do there. It will automatically have those on. Congrats. So that'll save you a great deal of time right there. But very good question.
Yeah.
So Tim's asking, hey, when you import your items from Aldelo POS file, will it bring over your happy hour items and prices? No, it will not. It will bring over some basic setup data, which is your items and your modifiers, your staff, and your customer information, but it does not bring over more advanced features like happy hour pricing. Would not be something that would be brought over there. It also wouldn't bring over, like if you had KDS routing set up in Aldelo POS, because the two systems are so vastly different on how they handle that. That wouldn't come over either.
I don't have anything else on this database building. I'm pretty well done with that. We showed how to create a new store. We actually created the new store. So
Okay.